Mr. Sam King, thank you for the interview. Now, you have been an entrepreneur, a businessman for about 20 years now, so you have a lot of experience in business here in Sierra Leone. Maybe you could start by telling us a little bit of what it is exactly that you do.
Yeah, thank you very much. We've been in business for a number of years, like you said. We've acquired some experience, and the things that we do here in Sierra Leone is we have in 4 different sectors. We are in the stationery, IT, so office supplies. We're also in hotel hospitality, vehicles, and construction. The things we do, the construction company especially, supports the hospitality wing because we build our own structures. So instead of hiring a company to do it for us, so we like to do it ourselves. And the hospitality, then you have to come in with a management that could run the whole facilities. And with respect to the office supplies, we are authorized dealers, distributors for Canon, which is a world brand, equipment digital company, and they are in photocopiers, printers, and they're quite renowned in the manufacture of this equipment, and it's quite acceptable worldwide. So we have a partnership with them to distribute those products here in Sierra Leone. And so we also do Dell, which is also a world brand computers, and we do sell them here in Sierra Leone as resellers. We'll buy, of course, from Europe or States, wherever, and to be able to make sure that we have account directly with Dell, and we should be able to buy those things, buy them and distribute them, resell them in Sierra Leone. So this is what we do. Currently, we are also expanding, but we are more focused on consolidation at this point in time, rather than massive expansion. So this is where we are, and this is what we do.
Mr. Sam King, let's start by the hospitality sector. A lot of people are saying that Sierra Leone used to be like the Nice of Africa. Before the war, of course, a lot of things were destroyed during the war, and now it's a question of building it up again. Would you say that this is the right time for people to come and invest in Sierra Leone in tourism?
Absolutely yes. There's no question that the peak period, the pre-war period, which attracted a number of investors in the tourism industry, particularly from France, where we had Sofitel was heavily present here, and we also had British Caledonian. In those days, according to the statistics, we had about nearly tourism contributing 5% of GDP at the time. That was very remarkable before the war. And as time went by, this economic situation in Australia was deteriorating very rapidly for very obvious reasons, vis-a-vis governance. Possibly there was no leadership to really focus on what the country, that would take the country forward. So there was that setback, and then compounded by the war. So after the war, all this social, the infrastructure of this tourism, these infrastructure were barely built by the government. This includes Bintimani Hotel, Mamiyoko. These were all government 100% finance projects, and they were leased to tour operators. So these institutions were heavily damaged, and also Brookfields, I remember. So coming back, there was a huge vacuum, and in terms of facilities, hotel rooms are not there, and so some of those hotels were being renovated by people, and then some of us see the niche, the opportunity to get involved and create a kind of niche, providing not large number of rooms, but quality rooms for people to use, especially when the demand at the time was pretty not too high, but it was pretty necessary. There's a need for people to have decent accommodation facilities.
Mr. Samking, you were talking about niche. Now, a niche that is definitely there is high quality hotels and rooms outside of Freetown. Things are moving in Freetown, so it will happen here. Now, I do understand that you yourself, your company, are building outside of Freetown to provide for this niche where there's not those quality rooms are not there yet. Can you tell us what it is exactly that you are doing?
We are building lodges, like I started saying. A number of Sierra Leoneans have come to the sector, the tourism sector, that includes myself, to be able to target and intervene into the shortage of rooms. And now, up to this moment, there's no market leader. And up to this moment, the industry is still starved of basic facilities. And there's also the need to increase the number of rooms that the country can boast of nationwide. There's also the need to improve the quality of hotels that we are building. All of us are guilty of sometimes cutting corners and providing not quite an international standard. And that is what we should, because we recognize that, that's what we want to improve upon and take it to international standard, and also increase the number of rooms as the demand is growing. So on this note, we are building lodges all over the country. So we have identified 4 locations for these lodges, namely the big towns. This is McKinney, Bow, Kenema, and then the Port Local region. So these hotels, when they are finished, each is we boast of a minimum of 40 bedrooms minimum. So that will give us initially a total of 100 to 200 bedrooms. So because some region will get about 50. When it is done, there will be relaxation, facilities like swimming pools. There will be facilities and internet services we intend to produce. So what does that mean to the country and to ourselves? Meaning that we are creating opportunity for domestic tourism, because not just for international tourists, but even people who want to travel within the country sometimes have a very challenging situation of getting access to quality rooms of countries. So as a result of this, we intervene. Secondly, we are inspired also by the head of state, His Excellency Ernest Bai Kromah, who happened to visit a prototype of these accommodation facilities that I did in my hometown, Tayama, and he saw it. He visited it, conducted a tour, and in fact it was so nice, beautiful, presently that he stays there during the time he was visiting Jala University College to offer degrees to students, the convocation. And he was very happy to see that what a local Sierra Leonean can do, and not just scrambling and everybody just scrambling over Freetown, but it's taken out of Freetown, right in the interior of the country. And number 3, the cost of these lodges is primarily 80% is local materials, mud bricks, and components, of course, timber, locally produced. So there's 3 elements that was quite fascinating. And with, the team of Sierra Leoneans, investors and entrepreneurs, we are asked to come together and replicate the Tayama model. And so the inspiration for me to lead that process also partly came from His Excellency, who appreciated the prototype work that I've done, and of which I remain grateful, at least if the number one gentleman appreciate the things you do.
Of course, yeah.
And that's great.
Now it is quite clear that His Excellency, the President Kuruma, is quite keen on attracting investment, on making sure that investors here, like yourself, are able to invest, but also to attract those foreign investors. What sectors do you think Sierra Leone especially needs that foreign knowledge and that those foreigners investing in your country?
The sectors in different sectors in Israeli demand different skill settings, and as we speak, there is a huge skill gap in the country. So this is one of the major reasons why to me as an entrepreneur, that direct foreign investment is crucial. Because direct foreign investment does not only bring the necessary capital to deploy, but it also brings along skills.
Of course.
And those skills will be imparted to the locals that will be able to enhance their capacity and be able to become self-reliant and be able to get on with the things they do better than before. So yes, I am fervent supporter of that initiative and the present initiative of running the country like a real corporate entity and creating enabling conditions for the private sector to strive. I think it's great, and one of the ambassadors in that regard to ensure that to show like case studies. It's a success story that despite the challenges in Sierra Leone, you can do meaningful and profitable business. There are challenges that stay there even though the government has worked a whole lot to eliminate some of the bottleneck problems that used to exist. But there are still there, of course, is much effort is being put in there to reduce those challenges, to eliminate them completely. But challenges are never, ever going away in our own life. So always there will be some. But people should not dwell more on the challenges and forget the benefit, the dividend of coming now as a newcomer into the market. When it's an emerging market, it's easier to start a business. As the market becomes more mature, it will be more complex and probably more expensive to get in. So yes, the scheme of transforming Sierra Leone into an ideal investment destination is certainly working, as you could see from a lot of other sectors coming. But the most sector that requires really the skill set is the service industry. Yeah, the hotels, the skills that you need to do the soft skills, sellable skills. And this is very crucial for Sierra Leone because then you have the Sierra Leoneans filling these gaps. But then if Sierra Leoneans do not have this skill set, we will lose out because then they have to bring in expatriates to be able to do these jobs. What does that mean to the country? A lot more capital flight because you pay these expatriates in dollars and they're definitely also very expensive. And what is the other drawback? Because they're expensive, if the entrepreneurs realize that the cost of doing business is high, there's a second thought of whether they want to come to that country or not. But they will readily go to a country which has the human resource capital. In other words, they're not exporting human resource. they have a readily well-skilled, well-trained, sellable, they can jump on it and cheaper. So these are all the part of our challenges as a nation, I think, do still exist, and that will be dealt with over time. How there will be the transfer of technology and skills to the young Sierra Leoneans, entrepreneurs, and even the civil service as well, even the adults. There's still a lot more that we need to learn about that we don't know. Yes.
Yeah. And it's quite clear that you say this is a good time to come to Sierra Leone, don't lose out, don't wait too long.
Yes.
Now, what advice would you have for the people that are thinking of coming now?
My advice would simply be that Sierra Leone has had, come to Sierra Leone, feel the environment, look at the different sectors that you are interested in, and trying to avoid going around corners, be very realistic, and avoid dodgy relationship partnership with people that may frustrate partners, foreign businesses to turn their back, to run them out. So it takes two to tango, to ignore the negative perception that Sierra Leone had before. Come to the country with an open mind, with a clear goal and objectives that what you want to achieve, and get the right people to give you advice on things that you do not understand, so that you don't get frustrated along the line. So it's a very great place, but it doesn't go without challenge like anywhere else. If I go to the United States or France and I'm asked to say, for example, what are the processes, or even process, what are the processes do you follow to import things into Brussels or France? I have to learn. I have to know what certificate I need, what import license is, what have you. So it's a learning curve. So it's important that for people to come in to the country and feel the country and network with the people and understand the investment climate. Then they are in a better position to guide their investment decisions.
Mr. Sam King, thank you for the interview. Always a pleasure.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, I wish you all the luck with your business. I'm
Thank
sure
you.
it's going to be as successful as it has been so far.
Thank
So
you very much.
good luck with it.
Thank you very much.